So good morning and welcome to this live webinar on Microsoft CSP, the monthly update. Time has now passed 9 a.m. in Denmark, Finland and Norway and 10 in Finland, and we are ready to start. And let me navigate to the next slide here. In the call today, I will be your host. My name is Kjell Larsen, for the people who don't know me. I'm working as a vendor manager responsible for the Microsoft business in Nordic, so covering those countries mentioned before, Denmark, Norway, Finland and Sweden. Together with me today, I have Sofia, who is the marketing manager working on Microsoft programs in SYNNEX, supporting the 4 Nordic countries. I will do the presentation and Sofia will be supporting us and also taking care of the Q&A. So do you have any questions during this webinar? Please go ahead, ask the questions in the Q&A, and in the end of the call, we will return to the Q&A and answer those questions that has been asked. So just some housekeeping as always. This webinar will be recorded and we will publish the recording on our SYNNEX blog website and send you the link after the presentation here. So you will be able to share with your colleagues that is not able to attend, or if there's something you want to catch up on one more time to catch every detail. So just be aware of this. The agenda is short. I will go through just a reminder of what is happening in the transformation from this legacy Microsoft CSP to Microsoft New Commerce. Now it begins to come to an end for the legacy CSP, and I just want to make sure that we are all aligned in the actions we have to make sure the customer land well within the New Commerce experience for Microsoft, and that you have all been aware of the change in the terms and conditions when a customer moves from legacy to NC, and that is communicated, of course, to the end users. Then I also want to use some time today to really go a little bit more into depth with Copilot for Microsoft 365 in CSP, because that is the hot topic right now among our customers. This is one of the topics we get most questions on in our commercial teams and also in our license team, our license advisory team. So I think we should use some time today to actually go through some of the things that you can do with Copilot and how you can build a practice around Copilot and have a successful implementations with your customers by setting the right expectations to what you can do and what you cannot do, because Copilot is still a new product and a lot of things is happening, but there's also some limitations in some applications, and it's good to know so you set the right expectations with your customers so you could get good customer feedback. We have some learnings now by selling Copilot since January, so I think there's a lot of things to share. So let's start with the roadmap we are in for transforming from legacy to NCE. Good news, almost all products from Microsoft is now available in New Commerce. There is still a few products that is not available yet that should become available during this month and next month, but it is really a very short list of products that is not available yet in Microsoft CSP. Most products is now available, whether it's normal commercial products or public SKUs, and public SKUs that mean educational SKUs and charity SKUs. But it is also relevant to actually be aware that some of the legacy products that is actually has ended sale long time ago, and that could be specific promotion, qualified offers, or outdated products. That has been end of sale long time in CSP, but some customers may still have those products or promotions active. Those products will not become available in new commerce, meaning when the product come up to the annual renewal date, the anniversary date, then the product will simply disappear. That goes for some special team rooms offers, and that's go for some dynamics offers. So I will recommend you to make sure that you actually consult the Microsoft Retirement Guide and see, is there any of these products that is in the retirement guide that you need to engage with your customers and find a good replacement for that product. In some cases, if a customer has a promotional SKU that was actually end of sales more than 2 years ago, then of course you need to engage with your customer and make them prepare that there will be a price increase when you need to transform it from a promotion SKU to a new full product. So engage with this retirement guide and engage with our sales advisors and our sales teams if you have any doubt and any questions. And of course, into the SYNNEX, we will also be aware. We will monitor what products is up for renewal, and if we can see some products is coming for renewal and is end of life, of course, we will engage with you. Good. A good idea is in general to actually engage with your sales team and our sales advisors to make a plan for move to NCE products. We have all the information available. You can also find it in our Stream One platform, but let us work together to find the best way to make sure we migrate successfully the remaining products in legacy into new commerce on the terms and conditions that you prefer. From 1st of May, then Microsoft will no longer offer the legacy products if an NCE product of the same product is available. So the same as you might remember from the commercial transformation from legacy to NCE, it has not been possible to purchase those legacy products for a long time now. Now this will happen also with the educational products and the non-profit products. If there is a NCE product that is available, then it will no longer be available to purchase the old legacy products after 1st of May. To help you migrate customers that is purchasing today with monthly billing, there is the option, of course, to offer those customers the same 3 options as you know from Microsoft New Commerce in general, that a customer can choose. Do you want to buy annual term, annual payment, meaning paying for all 12 months upfront? That is definitely our recommendation, because you will get the lowest price. You will get into a life cycle moment where you just need to make sure to actually look at the term once a year. And you will also make sure that you don't need to manage all the billing every month. And it will actually also remove some of the risk for you when you actually purchase an annual SKU where you lock the subscription for 1 year. If you choose to sell on an annual payment, then you get the payment upfront and you don't need to worry if for some reason the customer chooses not to pay you. But of course, you also have the option that you can choose to still buy on an annual term and then pay monthly. That is up to you how you want to do it. But if you choose to do it on an annual term with monthly subscription, monthly payment, not monthly subscription, but monthly payment, then you will have the risk that if the customer stop paying you after 6 months, you still need to pay for the remaining of the 12 months. So that put a risk on your shoulder. Whatever you choose, one or the other, you will get the best possible price at the time of the purchase. Then you have the third option, that you can choose to pay on the monthly term with a monthly payment. In that case, every month you can opt out as an end user. But to have that kind of flexibility, the price is 20% higher. Microsoft will offer for a limited period the option to pay this monthly subscription on a monthly term at the same price, the low price, as you will do if you do an annual commit. But it's only for a limited time, And when Microsoft changes back to normal pricing, then the price will go up 20% at the time of the monthly anniversary date. So our recommendation is, of course, choose the annual term. It's the best optional business, the best terms, and it's the best in the terms of amount of work that you have as a reseller to manage your customers. But it can help you in the transformation. If the customer is not really sure, then it can help you to choose the monthly offer, monthly term, monthly payment at a discounted price in a limited period. So just know that this is available. Okay, then what if you do nothing? For everything that is the commercial SKUs, so all those SKUs that has been available now long time in new commerce, Microsoft has already started enforcing the migration from legacy to new commerce. So since January, 11th of January, Microsoft has started to renew every subscription at the anniversary date into new commerce. And you may recall, or you may have forgotten, that even when you pay, even when you bought before the legacy license model, then you actually had like an annual anniversary date. So that was the annual date where you choose to purchase the original subscription. When you do a purchase in legacy, or when you did a purchase in legacy, you still had like price protection for 12 months. And therefore there was the anniversary date. And at that anniversary date, one time a year after the first original purchase and the following years after, then there is the option to there was the option that the product could have changed, or the price could have increased and decreased. And that is the anniversary date. And what Microsoft will do now is that at the anniversary date, they will renew it by themselves into new commerce at the same terms as you had on the legacy subscription. And most customers has monthly billing with an annual term in legacy. So meaning, if you have not sold on those terms to your customers, but have told your customers that they can change the number of seats at any time, then you may be in problem. So make sure when you come to the renewal date, the anniversary date, that your customer has agreed with you on your terms, that they buy on an annual term and an annual payment. That is the best option for you. But of course, it's up to you to choose how to do it, what pricing model, but make sure that you have aligned the terms and conditions with the end users so you don't end up in trouble. Microsoft is making this renewal into new commerce on annual term with monthly billing without the need for you to do anything. Only if the product is not available in NCE, that the product is end of life, then there is an action for you to do. But then it is given on the Microsoft terms and on that specific date. And it might be that it would actually be better for you to actually call your customers, agree on the future terms, and then do the migration right away. Don't wait for Microsoft to do it, but actually do it at the best possible time for you. So it could be like you want to do it 1st of May for all your customers, then you can actually do the migration at 1st of May with no financial risk on that part. So that is our recommendation. Make sure to go through the legacy subscription you still may have and do the renewals. That counts for everything now on legacy, but you can already start and do it also with the public SKUs, so with the educational SKUs and charity products, because now most of the product is available in new commerce. So you can get out of legacy, and this will also ease the billing process for you towards your customers, that you have one billing for all. Okay. After the renewal, when Microsoft do the renewal on the anniversary date, then you still have 7 days where you can actually cancel the agreement, but only 7 days. After those 7 days, you are locked to the full term. And that means, in most cases, the annual term. So make sure that you really monitor and follow these migrations. Talking about the commitment, there is actually some news. The customer will always be locked for the full period. But for you as a partner, we know that Microsoft is now starting to consider very strongly that it will be actually possible to transfer a subscription during a term. So if for some reason that you as a partner want to move a subscription from one distributor to another, then that would actually be possible. And it will also be possible for you to go and engage with customers that today engage with other partners and be able to actually take over that subscription for that customer. So you don't need to make sure that you wait on a specific anniversary date to actually take over a customer. But of course, this is an option that Microsoft will offer, a tool they will offer. But of course, it's up to your competing partner if they want to let the customer go. So it is a two-way. You need to collaborate with that partner that you want to win the customer from, because of course you don't know if the customer has any unpaid bill or anything for that that other partner. So you of course need to make sure that this is a thing you decide together. But just know that this is actually something that Microsoft will introduce very soon. The rumor says it will be sometime this quarter, calendar quarter, but we don't know the exact date yet, and we don't know yet if there is any special terms and conditions. But just be aware that there will be an option to actually transfer customers mid-term. More about that in the next CSP update. So engage with us to make sure to plan these transformation. Then we just talk about the educational products and the charity products. And for those, Microsoft will start the enforcement to renew legacy subscriptions into NCE from July. So until July, it's only the commercial subscriptions that is like migrated by Microsoft. But after 1st of July, then it will also be all the educational products and non-profit products. So meaning like when we come to June next year, then there's almost no legacy business left, and life will be much easier for all of us when everything is on one billing method. So one thing, of course, to be aware when you do the migration is the pricing. And for Denmark and Finland partners in this call, there's good news because you don't really need to consider anything. It's the same pricing as you know from before. But of course, in Norway and Sweden, there is something to consider because there was a price increase of 12% in Norway and 10% in Sweden by 1st of February. So meaning if a customer did purchase last year in May a CSP subscription, and that is now coming up for renewal during May this year, then the new price of the renewed subscription will be higher. So be aware of this when you plan your migrations. And that, of course, especially if you did make a renewal of legacy in January, then you know you don't need to do anything until January next year. But if you choose to do it now, you will have the price increase. So have this in your mind when you do the planning from legacy to NCE, how to do it the best way. And engage with us if you do have any questions. A small remark that is only relevant for very small resellers. Microsoft has by April enforced a new rule to be a Microsoft CSP indirect partner. So you as a partner, you must have a minimum revenue to continue to be Microsoft CSP indirect partner. So during the last 12 months, you must have a minimum revenue on CSP on $1,000. If you have not, I'm sorry to say, then Microsoft will offboard you in CSP. And that means that then you need to find a way how you can support your customer, help your customers land their business with another partner or directly from Microsoft. So this is Microsoft that choose to say, as a partner, you need to have minimum $1,000 in revenue in a year. You will, of course, get reminders from Microsoft. So you will have notifications. So make sure that you have entered your right details in Partner Center so you get those notifications from Microsoft. We will also, of course, monitor this as SYNNEX and engage with you if we can see there is any risk of this. But be aware so you can plan. If you are in risk in the future anniversary, then you have still the chance that you can go and do new business, so you come above the limit of $1,000. And that's all of the operational news for Microsoft. Now I would like to go a little bit more into Microsoft 365 Copilot or Copilot for Microsoft 365, because this is, I think, the most hot topic that we have from resellers for a very long time. And there is so many business opportunities to engage with customers, win customers, and you want to do that, of course, before your competitor. But there is also, of course, something you need to be aware to set the right expectations with your customers. And this is what I would like to just go through today so we get happy customers together. So first of all, we all need to understand what is Copilot. Because Copilot is more than one thing for Microsoft. It's basically, you could say, a family of a lot of AI assistants that can help you in different kind of applications, in different kind of works. You can even create your own Copilots, and you are allowed to actually use the Copilot for those tools that you create. So Copilot is not just one product, it's a family, or it's a new level of products. First of all, there is a free Copilot. There is a free Copilot that anyone can use just by going to copilot.microsoft.com. Even as a personal user, free user, family user, you can go to this address and you have access to a Copilot that is basically like ChatGPT, where you can find information on the web. You can ask about questions in the web, and Copilot will then use the information it can find from the web to present some search result in a very good conversational manner. And then you can continue the conversation to get more into depth about finding the right results from that Copilot. That is free for everybody to use. As a personal user and as an organization, you actually get even more features. Because if you are using Microsoft 365 already, then you will have access to Copilot with protection, meaning that you can actually use your company data when you do search in this free Copilot without the risk that the company data that you use in your search will be used to train the engine, the AI engine. That is a really, really good opportunity for you to start learn about Copilot, how to write to Copilot to get the best answers, and for you to start engage with your customers and say, do you know that you actually have access to a free Copilot with the Microsoft 365 subscription that you pay already? You don't need to pay extra. Dear customer, are you using ChatGPT? Are your employees using ChatGPT? Are you not concerned that if you not pay for ChatGPT, that those questions that your company users are asking would actually be use to train the engine? Why are you not using the Copilot that you already have included in Microsoft 365 that is built on the same engine as ChatGPT to actually use within your organization in a secure manner? This is the first conversation you can have with your customers that not cost anything for the customer. They already pay for the Copilot that is included in any Microsoft 365 for free. So that's the good news. Then there is the commercial version of Copilot for Microsoft 365, where you get access to do those kind of questions within Teams and within the Microsoft 365 apps. And that actually can help you perform actions within the Microsoft 365 apps. That is what you want to sell, because there is so many opportunities by doing so. There is a lot of value for the end user and for the customer and for the individual employees by using that Copilot. You can be much more productive, you can get more creative. There's a lot of good work from that one, a lot of value. But we also need to make sure that the customer understands that it's not perfect yet. Microsoft is improving on Copilot every day. There's being added new features. They are changing features. So one question the one day, if you ask the same the second day, you may get a different result. So Copilot is something you need to understand as a product to make sure that you really get a successful adoption. And that is my point here, because it has a price tag. The price for Copilot is $30 per month, and you need to pay 12 months upfront. You cannot pay on a monthly option. So it's an investment of $360 per seat per employee. And that is a kind of heavy investment if you compare to the price on Microsoft 365. I believe that the value you get as a user is definitely worth the money, but you need to set the right expectations, because else you end up in a situation where the customer might say, what you did promise me is actually not what I get. I have seen those cool animations or videos presented by Microsoft, but what I can do is nothing near what Microsoft present. And they may be right. Microsoft is really making some nice commercials and it presents the vision. A lot of it you can do, but it's not perfect yet. But when we look into the roadmap, we can see new features being added month by month, and a lot of new features. And that means it does require something for the adoption for the single end user. So what does that mean? Should you stop? Should you wait selling it until it's more like, what you can say, a full product where there's not happening changes all the time? I would say no, you need to get started now, because if you don't engage with the companies and the customers, then your competitors will. And there is a lot of value add already by using Copilot. And as a company, as an organization, I would definitely recommend that you get started now. Maybe not roll it out to the full organization, because that might be hard work if there's a lot of employees in the company, but get started. Please get started. Establish the first user groups, get it out to some employees, and learn from the experience. So at the time that Microsoft are really adding more features, then you already are ready and you have a team that is already used to use Copilot. That is definitely my recommendation. So get started now. And of course, we are here to help you. More about that in just a moment. Then Microsoft has introduced recently two more role-based Copilots, and that is Copilot for Sales and Copilot for Service. It is exactly the same as Copilot for Microsoft 365, but you get more features in those two role-based versions. So with the Copilot for Sales, you will be able to use information from like Dynamics 365 for sales or from Salesforce directly within the Copilot. So the two platforms, the things that you do in you can say the Office package, all the Word, Excel, PowerPoint, blah, 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 all those kind of things you can now combine with the information that you have in your CRM system. That can help you actually as a seller, having a tool where you within Word, you can actually look up like a product or look up things from the Microsoft from the CRM. You can find your customer data. You can find the customer address. You can plan things from within the apps you're using every day just by looking up the information using Copilot directly from the app. A lot of opportunities in that, and that has an additional price tag of $20. So that means instead of $30, you will pay $50 per month, still need to be paid upfront for 12 months. The same with service. This is the service tool that you have dreamed about, where you will be able to actually engage with a ticket system like Dynamics 365, or again, it could be Salesforce, or it could be Zendesk, it could be ServiceNow. There is different apps that is already out of the box, ready to engage with Copilot for Service. And then you would be able, when you sit in your Outlook or in your Word, to actually look up data directly from your ticket system and give your customer a really excellent support often. Same way, you would be able to, from within your sales or within your service application, you will be able to look up information from Word or from your knowledge base. All those kind of things, you can use Copilot from those apps. So a lot of options to actually work with the customers, not only to sell Microsoft 365 Copilot, but also Copilot for Service and Copilot for Sales. And please engage with us if you want to learn more. Okay, Microsoft has now made Copilot available to almost all plans with a Enter ID. So all the plans that had, now I say Enter ID, if you're not familiar with that, this is the same that Microsoft used to call actually Directory ID or AD ID. So Enter ID is like the one thing you need today to be able to onboard Copilot for Microsoft 365. But of course, there is different security features within different plans for Microsoft. So you can adopt Copilot for any of these plans, but there will be different security level depending on the level of security you have in your Microsoft 365 already. So Copilot does not actually require anything special about security. Copilot will help you find information, also from your internal tenant, every information that you have on your PC, every information that you have in your SharePoint, within those rights that you as an employee already have to your company data. So if you as a company has established already different kind of security and privacy features on your Microsoft 365 tenant, then it is no risk to actually just adopt Copilot. Copilot does not require anything special. It will just use those kind of security settings that you already have on the tenant. So some people, they worry like, oh, if I get Copilot, then maybe my employees will be able to go in and say, I want to look up the salary of my manager. And then it will find the information because that is somewhere on SharePoint. But I'm sure that kind of information as a company, you already have protected. And if you have not, then you are already having a kind of security risk or privacy risk, because that information will still then be available to search just using SharePoint. So Copilot is not any kind of security risk in itself, but it will find information if you have not put in any security settings. So therefore, it's a very good option when you have conversations with customers to actually talk about security at the same time, and at least make sure that you have done an assessment of the customer, what is the security settings they have applied already, so they know the risk. or they know what they can do to actually avoid any risk. So a good option when you talk about Copilot to talk about security. And this is what I like about Copilot, because all customers want to learn more about Microsoft 365 Copilot. What can it do for my company? So the door is put open for you. You can engage with your customers. And it might be that you have tried to talk security, or maybe you have tried to sell in Azure with a customer before, and they have been like, no, we don't need everything we have. It worked perfectly. We don't need Azure. We have a server in the basement. Now, there's a good option to go and say, with Copilot, to get the full value of Copilot, let's talk about security. Let's talk about moving your old files here into Azure to make sure that all the information is available for Copilot. So the door is open for a lot of new business opportunities for you. Okay, then how to success selling Copilot? Yeah, I think there's basically 3 steps to build a good practice, and you should consider how do you fit with your business into those 3 practices. Because if you don't fit, or you don't think it's worth it, then I would actually recommend you forget about it. Let the customer go to another partner that actually can see the business opportunity in this, because else you would maybe actually risk that the customer will feel they get a bad service from you, and you don't want that. You might have other business with that customer. So if you don't feel you want to engage yourself in a Copilot practice, then make a plan. How can you maybe help your reseller, help your customer land that part of the business with another friendly reseller that will not compete with you and take the business from you? I'm sure you all know some other resellers that can help you with some of those services that you cannot manage. Then work with those kind of resellers. This is what business is all about today. P2P, partner to partner. We help each other, and we use this one to scale and deliver services that we cannot do ourselves, with the target to give our end customers some really good value. But this is like the first step to start, and it don't need to be complicated. Lead with Microsoft 365 Business Premium. Make sure all your customers have Microsoft 365 Business Premium when we talk about CSP customers with less than 300 seats, because you get so much value for those money, and you will get tools to manage those customers, like using Microsoft 365 Lighthouse. So the first step is to get your customers into Business Premium. This is a good and secure package from Microsoft, and it take care most of the things that you need to do also when you apply Copilot. And else, of course, you will be able to sell up to an even higher end SKU if you need more protection, more security. Then get started by engaging with your customers. Present the options, all the features you can do with Copilot to your customers, and start the conversations. That is what we can do with the CSP briefings. Microsoft has made a lot of content available to us that is ready to present to our customers. It is available for you directly from Microsoft, but you can also engage with our commercial team to help you have these kind of CSP briefings towards your customers. Our people are doing this every day, and we do it together with our partners. We are not going and do it on our behalf. We are not selling to your customers, but we work with you to actually land Copilot within your customers, and they buy from you. And actually, we are pretty good at that now. So that is the first part. Then, of course, really go in and look at the security practice to make sure that your customer is technical ready. That is like the second part. And the last part that you should not forget is about make sure that the customer adopt Copilot, that they use Copilot, because else it's a bad investment and they will just come back to you and say, why did you sell it to me? I don't see any value of it. So make sure that the customer start using the Copilot. and make sure that you have a service in place where you actually can help the customer to monitor if they are using Copilot. We can see already today that from the Microsoft apps that there are so many features in Teams and in SharePoint that companies don't use today. They pay for it in the subscription for Microsoft, but they're not using it. Maybe they even buy a competitive product for something they already have. We don't want that to happen with Copilot. We want to make sure that customers are using Copilot and see the value of Copilot, so they keep using Copilot. So that is, of course, something you really need to consider. And Microsoft, again, they have great tools for that. There is a new Copilot dashboard within the Lighthouse where you can actually see how is the customer using Copilot. Is the employees that have a license assigned, are they using Copilot? If they are not, then maybe you could sell some training, or the company could choose to say that license we move to another employee that will get more value from Copilot. Use those services, land those services with your customers. And then, of course, there is the option to the next step to go and even integrate Copilot even more with the special apps that company might use. They might have created some application that is very important for their own business that they have built themselves in Azure or have created otherwise. Then that is possible also to do some customization of many of those. So that is when it begins to be more complicated, but have these kind of conversations with your customers. And again, if you are not already using Microsoft 360 Lighthouse, Microsoft 365 Lighthouse, if you're not using that to manage your customers, then I will definitely recommend you to engage with us so we can help you get started, because it makes your life much more easier to have one single panel where you can see the security level of your customers, how they use the application and what renewals is coming up, everything from within one single glass or one single panel, so one single dashboard. Can you manage all your customers, see all your DDAP rights and all kind of security information in Microsoft 365 Lighthouse? I will definitely recommend you that one. Actually, we have a 2 days training on Microsoft 365. 1 day's training on Microsoft 365 Lighthouse coming up. I think it's in June. It has a price tag, but please engage with us if you want to know more about this Microsoft 365 Lighthouse training from TD SYNNEX Academy in June. So, as I said before, first step is, of course, to present to the company what you can do, to inspire the company what you can do. This is what we do with the SMB briefing. The second step is to make sure that you have a plan to actually adopt Copilot in the organization. So start by getting ready yourself, understand Copilot yourself and how to engage with your customers. And then next, start with 5, maybe 10 users within the company to actually show what is possible with Copilot for Microsoft 365. We can see by the history we had for the last few months from companies buying Copilot that it has been done a little bit different. There has been some both resellers and end users that has just bought maybe 1 or 2 licenses to understand what is Copilot. And that is one way to do it. But I would actually recommend make sure to sell it into more people in the beginning, because yes, it's okay to just buy one to get a feeling about it, but you really not get the full value and the full feeling until you begin to use it in your teams. So start by onboarding maybe 5 to 10 users in a team to really learn from Copilot and how can you as an organization work with Copilot as a team and see the value of Copilot in your team. That also goes for yourself. So you as a reseller, if you have not done it yet, you should buy Copilot and you should use in your team. And I'm sorry to say, currently there is no plan for Microsoft to offer Copilot for Microsoft 365 in a discounted licensing model to partners in the internal use rights program. Of course, we can never know what happens in the future, but at the moment, there's not any known plan for Microsoft to introduce Copilot for Microsoft 365 in the internal use rights partner program. So to get started with Copilot also as a partner, you actually need to go and purchase. But engage with us, and I'm sure we can find a good price, and that also maybe that could be an option that maybe we can give you a discount on a 1 seat or 2 seats extra or something. Let's have that kind of conversation, see if we can build a plan together, right? So engage with your commercial teams on what options might be available for you to land Copilot in your organization. Next up is, of course, that we follow up on what we have sold into the company. It's perfect to get 5 to 10 users started, but of course we have an interest that we want to get it out to more people in the organization. So have a plan how to engage with the company and follow the success of the adoption of those 5 to 10 people, so you can expand to more users or to the entire department or more department in those kind of scenarios that the end user is. Make a plan, not just sell in, not just go to stream one and buy it or purchase it and then sell to your customers, but make sure you actually have a plan how to adopt it, and make sure that you have a plan how to follow up on it. Have the conversation going with the customer. This is great. Okay. Then set the right expectations, because Copilot, you cannot do everything yet. And there might be also some language limitations. Like today, most things work much better in English. During this month in April, Microsoft has promised that Copilot also will support all the Nordic languages. So that means that it will become even more relevant for you and your customers, that you can actually use it in your local language. But it is still better in English. Of course, you will see a lot of things happening, but make sure you set the right expectations when you talk to your customers and show them some of the value, why it's still worth it, that you don't need to wait. So how can you actually get some good value from Word, from Excel, PowerPoint, and Outlook and Teams, and define some, you can say, aha moments, what can actually make this like really, really cool for me as a personal employee or co-worker within a company. So for me, I have using Copilot now since November, I think. I was very lucky that I get access to some preview licenses. And I feel I get a lot of value from Copilot, but I must also say I'm not using it in all the applications. Like in Excel, I think I can use things much better myself using Power BI or Power Pivot tables. And I know how to use Excel and how to write formulas. So for me, I don't get so much value yet for Excel. The same with PowerPoint presentation. I feel I'm an expert in using PowerPoint and create PowerPoint presentations. So for me, I see very little value of Copilot in those apps. But I have colleagues that are not very good to using Excel and write their own formulas, or they are not good in using pivot tables. I also have colleagues that can create a PowerPoint presentation, but it does not look like SYNNEX branding, right? They use their own branding and their own, I think maybe it could be, maybe I see a problem about like how to present things, representing my brand, the company brand, when I see those presentations. But using Copilot, you can actually make sure that when you create presentation, it will follow the brand and everybody can make nice presentations. And the same with Excel. People that don't have a lot of experience will get a lot of use of Copilot to actually get help to write the formulas. Same for Word. I sometimes use Word actually when I need to start on a new project. I can get some inspiration using Copilot in Word. I still make a lot of changes myself, but it can help me get started, like removing a kind of blocker when I go from one content area to another content area. That is how Copilot helped me in Word. Not the one feature I use most, but it helped me sometime to get started on a draft for something new, for a blog article or for a new presentation even. I can get some help from Copilot to get started on the project. And that saves me some time. But the two apps that I currently love, that is how I can use Copilot within Outlook and how I can use Copilot within Teams. So I get a lot of emails, and if I'm just going to customer meeting for a few days, then there's a lot of things to catch up. And this is where Copilot can actually help me just identify what has been discussed in my emails for the last few days, and where do I have any actions to follow up? What is most important? It's not always that it finds all the right answers, but it helped me again get started to what to do without the need for me to reading through all the emails. The same thing, sometimes I have a colleague that maybe forward a conversation from one of you with a lot of questions, and there have been a lot of conversation and mails onwards and forward and backwards, and it ending up being maybe a lot of text and a lot of things to actually read through to understand what is all this about. And here I can ask Copilot, can you please summarize this email? And I will get just a short summary of what is most important from here. And I can define what is my action in this one, and I can easily get back to my colleague with the help that is needed. That is something that I already can see the value of spending $30. Then, of course, in meetings, I attend a lot of meetings, and I might be special because I attend a lot of meetings, of course, with my European organization and my global organizations, also with the Nordic organization and with customers. And sometimes I cannot attend everything, or sometimes I also end up coming late because I finish late in another meeting. Now with Copilot, I actually can go into a meeting and I can just ask Copilot what has been discussed so far in the meeting. And then I don't need to ask any stupid questions in the meeting. And I don't know if this has been discussed already, but I have an idea. No, now I know, has it been discussed? And I can just come in with the value that I have without the need to wait. I can just catch up right away. And the same if I totally miss a meeting, I can go in after and I can just open up the recording and I can get a summary of the meeting without the need for me to actually watch every single minute of the meeting. So this is good value for me, and I love it, and it helped me a lot in my daily work. So this is what it's all about, to identify what is the aha moment for the individual employee. And that could be different from me and maybe Sophia that is in the this call also. We might have different kind of aha moments, and so does your customers. So when you have the meetings with your customers, identify for the different kind of roles, the personas within the company, a seller, a salesperson, or a support person, or a financial person. All of them have different kind of needs. So try to identify those and try to land Copilot with different kind of personas. So then the company really can see the value of Copilot. Get started, learn how to use Copilot. Go in using the free Copilot that is included with Microsoft 365 to learn how to ask questions. That's called prompting. That's a new term we all need to learn, how to prompt. So that's the first step. Learn how to prompt. Ask the question in a way where Copilot finds the best answers. It's like when you use Google before or Bing. If you just search for one word, then you most likely not get the best results. But if you combine into a sentence, then you get better results. That is more what you want. The same with Copilot. The more information you provide when you ask questions, the better results you will get from Copilot. So learn how to prompt. There's a lot of opportunities to get started, and you need, of course, to help your company, your customers, how to get started with this. Don't leave them on their own. Help them with the first prompting. Do an adoption workshop or something, so you get started in a good way with the customer. And Microsoft again support with a lot of assets, and we in SYNNEX will love to help you engage with you and your customers to make sure to land this within the companies. There's more information here in the slide deck that I have provided here, how to build a prompt. It's basically quite simple. So when we share this presentation afterward on the blog site, go in, read a little bit up on it, and engage with us if you are interested to learn more about it. Great. So last thing about how to learn to prompt. There's actually a lot of things built in Copilot for Microsoft 365. So when you go in and you want to look up information, it come up with some ideas what you can actually do. So that's about identify the aha moment and let people use Copilot to get that aha. I promise you, when they see how Copilot summarize a meeting or something, they will just be like, wow, this is what we have been needed. And they will be more productive, more efficient. How many of you are creating minute notes today after a meeting? Are you creating notes and send to the people that was attending? That's a good practice to do, but I'm sure you forget to do it. With Copilot, Copilot make those notes and you can actually share with your team very easy. Identify the aha moment for the people in your company and your customers. All the different kind of roles, everybody have their own aha moment. And then work with us to actually work on a successful implementation, how to get ready, how to do the onboarding and adoption, how to address all those security features, and then measure on everything and find out what is the next business opportunity or the next value add that you can actually help your customers achieve. So work with us. We will be love to have workshops with you to go through all of this and land this with you and your organization, but also with your customers. And of course, there's a lot of resources available from Microsoft to actually help you with this. So all the tools that you need to go to actually have a successful practice about Copilot, we will help you build it. Just engage with our commercial teams. Let's share some good ideas. And I'm sure that you will see a lot of business coming from this. First, start with a CSP briefing. Do a webinar or do an on-site event for your customers. It can be inviting 10 customers to the same meeting, or you can do a large event with 100 companies or people attending. We actually have one this week with more than 200 attending from one partner. So just get started. Your competitors have maybe started already. So don't get behind. Have those kind of presentations towards your customers now. Microsoft has all the content available you need, and we are there to help you. We would like and love to help you land this with your customers. So that brings me to the end of the hour. Everything that I wanted to present for you. I hope it was useful for you. And if you have any question, please engage with us. Sophia, can you tell me, is there any questions in the Q&A that we need to address?
There are no questions in the chat.
Good. So if you have any questions after the event, please don't hesitate. Call to the SYNNEX and we will help you. Connect with your commercial teams and of course connect with our licensed advisors. And we are here to help you. Thank you for today and have a very pleasant rest of the week.